Hey guys, Brandon from NorCal MedTech. I wanted to do a video on a Facebook conversation that was going on in one of our local gun groups here in Santa Cruz area. The question was basically asked, what rigs, what setups do people recommend? And it was an interesting question because the initial post didn't really have anything to do with what they were actually looking for as far as training, as far as home defense or what. So as the conversation kind of continued to roll, different people started bringing up home defense, active shooter, shit hits the fan scenario, all those different things. So one of the things I wanted to do was show what I actually have going on in my home. I've had other videos where I talk about buying equipment for training. Really basically don't. Whatever you're going to bring to a class is whatever you already plan on having, and whatever you see as your defensive role, whether that's home defense, whether it's some sort of bug out, shit hits the fan scenario, I only have a thing laying under my bed, you know, whatever it is, you should really be trying to take all your training and in the same gear you're going to be prepared for. Don't recommend you come into a class in just your boxers if that's what your plan is at home, but hey. So we'll go over guns and equipment that I use personally. All this stuff is going to be just my opinion today, and then we'll see some of the actual different gear that I have for the different scenarios or the different type of training environments. So hope you guys find it interesting, and we'll check it out from here. Alright, here are my home defense guns out of the entire collection in the house. This is really what I would consider to be our actual defense guns. Without really getting into where each one is kept, I will say that each one kind of has a different role. I'm sure everyone's always heard that the handguns suck at best, and they're just a way to fight to get to your long gun. I use Glocks as handguns, primarily the Glock 19. I do have Glock 17 and then Glock 26 for concealed carry, but primarily in the house it's always a Glock 19. When it really comes down to it, probably my go-to gun in a home defense scenario would be the shotgun. You know, we have this argument all the time with different people, you know, the shotgun or the AR, the shotgun or the AR. Being California and wanting to always stay California legal, 10 rounds in the AR with some stupid ass bullet button just doesn't really do it for me. So I rather have that shotgun fully loaded with the options of slug in there. You can see not much has been done to this shotgun. When you look at it, you'll see some ghost ring sights. Those are excess big dot ghost ring sights. There's the knock stock, the recoil reducing stock on there. There's just a real simple sling. Really kind of went ghetto on the sling. And then just a regular 6-shot side saddle. Basically they're positioned for depending on emergency reload or tactical reload, and then the two in the center for me are my slug to do slug select. The tube is full. I leave the chamber empty, not because I believe in the racking the shotgun sound as some sort of home defense deterrent. However, I rather have the chamber empty, so if I immediately feel I need to go to a slug, it's a little easier to do that slug select drill. Simple, surefire 4N light. This is one of the earlier generations. I believe they've really come out with some other ones. I know Insight is also making them nowadays. The question that prompted me looking at this stuff and talking about it was what gear people were using for home defense, shit hits the fan scenario. It was a Facebook discussion on a local group, and to me those things are slightly different. We're going to look at the rest of the gear in a second. My AR, when I look at it, is the AR is great. It is the best gun that I have. However, it's not for me inside my house. it definitely could be used inside the house. Have no problem with that. Love it as a CQB weapon. But given that 10-round magazine, I just, here in California, I don't worry about that. As far as putting it in that home defense role. So it stays behind the shotgun. However, we are prepared to do what is necessary to deal with a shit hits the fan type of situation where we're leaving the house and all of a sudden the AR becomes a primary weapon. My AR, simple Daniel Defense rifle. Only things added to it, of course, are some of the Magpul furniture. This one actually happens to have Tango Down foregrip. Ambidextrous. Aim point micro up there. I do use the TLR1 Streamlight 4-end light on there. And then just my little American flag bling because, well, you know, you need bling on anything, I guess. So, pretty simple when it comes down to it. I used to have a rifle set up with a lot more stuff on there, but really the extra weight, it just really didn't make any sort of sense these days. So those are the 3 primary guns for home defense. I'll show you the different gear setups that I have now and really talk about why I have the 3 different ones somewhere in the house and what they actually represent to me. Now that we looked at the fun stuff, the guns, let's look at the rest of the gear as far as being prepared for some sort of event. At your base should be something to protect you, right? Anyone that's been through any of our classes, you know, you hear us say what's more important, getting hits on a target or not getting shot. The answer, hopefully for all you, should be not getting shot. So as the base layer, think of your home preparedness and your defensive role the same as preparedness and your disaster preparedness, the layering principle. So I have my armor. It actually just, my soft armor stays under the bed. If there's time when that thing goes bump in the night, I'm going to actually be able to get this on. Me with a gun in my hand, armor on, is pretty darn good cover for my other family members in the house. So I want to make sure that this armor gets on as long as there's time to do so. So it stays real close, really underneath the bed. The next thing is my war belt. As you can see, it's kind of set up for everything. Even though we talked about in the gun section that my primary home defense gun is that shotgun, this one's set up obviously with the rifle mags in it, extra pistol mags, light, knife, holster, blowout kit. We go over this belt pretty well in a different video, so if you really want to go into the belt, it's a high-speed gear belt. All the pouches are high-speed gear, except for the holster is made by G-Code. But it's kind of that next layer. I don't need, in my view, I don't need a bunch of chest rigs and everything. I have my soft armor to defeat majority of what's out there as far as the people breaking into homes. You know, we're not seeing a lot of people breaking into homes with AKs and ARs, so soft armor is going to defeat those handgun rounds. So there's that next layer if, once again, if there's time in the bump in the night. Add this on to a more extensive home defense role. You know the fight's coming. This is still going to be that base layer. Added on into the shit hits the fan type scenario, we're going to be leaving. I'm still going to be wearing this. This is the basis of everything I do. It's the way I train. For most of the training that I do as a student, I'm not bringing a bunch of vests and gear and carrying a billion mags. This is what seems to work for me. This is, you know, enough ammo for those sorts of things. So this is that next layer. Of course, it's going to be added on into anything else coming up. After that, we have a simple chest rig that's laying around. It's lightweight. Once again, underneath it would be the soft armor, wearing a belt, and then additional mags in here. This one's an original SOE. Anyone who knows me, seen anything we put out, hear us talk about anything, Original SOE is a great company. Anything you have should have somewhere on it the blowout kit. So here I just got a lot of room for mags, pistol mags, rifle mags, blowout kit, so med kit, and then the inside of this has a lot of room for anything else. If we're looking at something prolonged, I have the different caches of other personal equipment that I'm just going to slide into here before leaving the house. For my shit hits the fan scenario, we're actually looking at the full plate carrier we'll slide the plates into there. We're carrying dual mag pouches everywhere, more pistol pouches, another med kit, smoke, grenades, hydration bladder, radio mounts, cuff case, so whatever, you know, and then in the other spots I have other things that I'm just going to weave into there as the situation is necessary. You know, glow sticks, we can add, we got pouches galore in this house that we're going to add it. Obviously this isn't something I'm just going to throw on in the middle of the night for me. This is that shit hits the fan, we're leaving the house, it's the, I don't know, the end of the world scenario, or there's some sort of fight that we know is going to be that big fight and we know it's been coming. So those are kind of the three levels of stuff. Once again, armor, armor if possible. Then I go for that belt, which is really the basis of everything for me. And then I have two different chest rig options. So a bunch of stuff. Anyone who trains, anyone who is into this lifestyle probably is like me and has a closet full of stuff and is trying to figure out how to strategically place it all around and best use it. But those are kind of the gear that I carry. It's the layering principle that I believe in, and I'm feeling pretty confident that it's going to be able to take care of any sort of defensive role that comes my way.